when the fifth one from the children of the seventh will disappear. Meaning what? That means from amongst the children of the seventh Imam. This is the seventh Imam himself speaking. He's saying from the children of the seventh, when the fifth will disappear. You understand, right? So he's talking about the 12th Imam, but he's not talking. He's not saying when my son from among, or a son from amongst me, or a son from my lineage. He's saying إِذَا فُقِدَ الْخَامِسِ, when the fifth one from amongst the children of the seventh will disappear. That means when the 12th will disappear, and the Rawi will then ask later on. Then he says, when he disappears, فَاللَّهُ Allah min adyanikum, or min dinikum. Saying when this person disappears, then Allah min dinikum. Now, in the Arabic terminology and the Arabic language, specifically when it would come to something very important in religion, you would find the sentence being repeated by the Imams. Allah, Allah. And you would find this in numerous instances in Nahj al-Balagha, in several hadith, when the Imams want to explain something very important. Here the seventh Imam starts on a very different note. When the fifth person from amongst the sons of the seventh Imam will disappear, فَاللَّهُ Allah min dinikum, then I fear for you for your religion. So the Rawi asks, who is this fifth from the seventh? I don't understand. So then the seventh Imam says, the fifth from the seventh means me. The seventh Imam from the lineage of the Imamate. And the fifth from my children will become ghaib. Then he begins to name. After me there will be my son Ali. And after Ali will be his son Muhammad. And after Muhammad his son will be Ali. And after Ali will be his son Hassan. And the fifth one after Hassan will be one who has the same name as my grandfather. When he disappears, then be very careful. Because then your deen is in khatar. Your deen is in danger. So the Rawi asks, okay, I've understood the fifth, I've understood the seventh, but what is this khatar that you're talking about? At that time the Imam says, a time will come so deadly that if you leave the house in the morning with Iman, there is no guarantee that this person will come in the evening with Iman. Now, it's a long tradition and I'm cutting it short. You heard this. The Imam is saying, the seventh Imam is saying, the fifth one from my lineage, when he becomes ghaib, then your deen will be in khatar. Situations would be such that now when a person goes out in the morning, for him to come back in the evening with Iman will be difficult. At that time, the person asks him, this last one, who is he? At that time, the seventh Imam says, he is the Qa'im of Ali Muhammad. And then he mentions a sentence. He says, don't even try to think about him too much. Because his personality, his rank, his position in the eyes of God is so much that la tasghuru fi uqulikum. It will not encompass into your minds. Wala yaksub fi ahlamikum. It will not even be encompassed in your dreams. This person, the fifth one, he will have a ghaibat. He will disappear. But his rank will be of such great, immense importance that the minds will never be able to understand. And people will never be able to envisage this in the dreams. Having said this, this riwayat goes complete. It's a long tradition. I've picked up a portion. Now I come to another tradition narrated by Sheikh Saduq. Sheikh Saduq in his book writes this tradition about the riwayat, about the benefits of a person. Now this is narrated by Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani, in which he says Sheikh Saduq is narrating this book, narrating this hadith in his book, which has been written by the recommendation of Imam Zamana. In this book, Sheikh Saduq narrates a tradition from the sixth Imam, in which the Imam is saying, a time will come in Akhiru Zaman, when our followers will be in the imamat of our last and the final Imam. At that point of time, if an individual were to die with the wilayat of this Imam, he would be given the rewards of 100 shaheed of Uhud and Badr. Now you realize the position that we are in. That if we were to die with the wilayat of the 12th Imam, the 6th Imam says our ranks will be equivalent, or the rewards that will accrue to us because of holding the wilayat of the 12th Imam in his absence, in his ghaibah, would be of such a nature that it would be equivalent to several hundreds and thousands of the shuhada of Uhud and Badr. When you look at these traditions, then now you realize the importance of the person that we are talking about and the importance of us in this present times. The importance of the person is because of the rewards that are accumulated. And the importance of us in this time is, according to the tradition, the difficulty of staying with this wilayat of the Imam of such a nature that if we manage to do it and if we manage to keep it, the rewards are equivalent to the rewards of a shaheed. Now when you look at all of this, one thing that would come to us is an immediate shauq comes that we need to become part of that revolution. And that is translated in the du'as that we recite. Allahumma ajil li waliyyika al-farj. But over here there is a problem. That while we may want, and while when we listen to all these traditions of the importance of being associated with Imam Zaman and the rewards associated with that, while we have this raghbah of becoming his companion and becoming part of his muhibbeen and becoming part of his global revolution, the riwayat give us one mention of caution. That it does not, and the riwayat says, it does not mean that every person who wishes to become an ashab of the Imam will automatically become the ashab of the Imam. The riwayat puts us on hadar, saying on one side it is a one-way valve. It does not mean that if I want to become a sahabi of the Imam, I will become from the ashab. But on the other hand, if he wants to take me inside, it is only then I will enter. And it is at this point that the riwayat tells us, and all that thing that we talk about, the dangers of asking Imam to come while we do not know him comes over here. The riwayat categorically says a person by his wish cannot enter into the sahabiyat of the Imam. He will only enter into the sahabiyat of the Imam if the Imam wants him to come.